Hello everyone, and today we are welcoming you to the day 5 of our Backend Development course. Today's lecture we will learn about the most important and are used in almost every production app, the modules in Node.js. The first most important module in Node.js is FS module. FS stands for File System. With this module we can read, write, update and delete files from a Node.js server. The FS module can be understood well with an analogy, the files and clerk analogy. Take for example, in a clerk office there are many files and a clerk sitting. When you need any file, the clerk finds the file from the cupboard and gives it to you. Likewise, the FS module works to read, write, update and delete files in the system. It is important to understand that the files that we write in our Node.js environment or the server, we should not use synchronous files because the synchronous file would freeze the runtime until it finishes the initial response. In that case, the browser will freeze and the clients will have a hard time to find the next response. The next module is the path module. This module helps us to create system compatible paths. It helps us to create path where the file will be located and that path should be compatible in different systems like Windows, Linux or Mac. You have seen the file system in different systems are different. That is, for the Windows we use a backward slash, and in the Mac we use a forward slash. So if you use one of these path system, we may face with errors when we run the code in different environment. To make this compatible in all environment, we have the path module where we define a source path and the path module takes up the full responsibility where it will store the file. The next important module we have is the OS module. This module helps us to get the information of the operating system and the hardware on which our system server is built on. It helps us to get the specifications of the hardware and software details like the RAM, the operating system that it is running on, and it is used in almost every production app. The next important module is the HTTP module. This module is the backbone for creating a web server. The HTTP module helps us to communicate between the browser client and the Node.js server through the HTTP, which is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. The HTTP module is the low-level module for creating web server, but it is not widely used because in this way of creating server we need manual routing and we cannot implement middleware between the request and the response. So we need a better and modern framework like Express.js to create server. The HTTP response has two callback functions, the request and the response. The request contains the data sent by the client through the browser, and the HTTP response is written inside the create server method and which data is to be returned to the client. Finally, we will conclude this lecture with environment variables. We have the environment variable file named .env. In this file we write our different database URLs and secret API keys so that we did not directly put our secret API key into the code or into the server, because of the hackers might steal our secret keys. So environment variable is also very important to define in our file. That's all we have today. Thank you.